completely unique within the world of music is nearly impossible, and yet when you look back at the entire history of the art form, there's not another person quite like Leonard Cohen. Poet, novelist, singer, radical, legend, call him whatever you want. But over the past century, few, if any other individuals have had as wide-ranging and massive an impact as he has. And even more than half a century after his first big breaks, he remains just as relevant to the current generation. Born in Quebec in 1934, in the early 1950s his writing began to get noticed and he won a number of prizes when he attended McGill University. And while he was there, he served as one of the editors to their literary magazine. His first book was published in 1956, and after a brief stint in law school as well as in New York City, he returned home to Montreal where he held down a number of odd jobs and did his writing on the side. His 1961 book, The Spice Box of Earth, was what really gave him a much wider recognition. And in 1967, he moved back to New York City where he began to write and sing songs. His first album, simply called Songs of Leonard Cohen, quickly became a cult hit due to not only the sparse nature of the songs, but his unmistakable voice and his brilliant lyricism. His next few records somehow presented even more sparse musical arrangements. And many of these songs, including Suzanne, Bird on a Wire, and Famous Blue Raincoat, remain amongst the most heavily covered songs of all time. Throughout the remainder of the 70s, Cohen pushed his music in a number of different directions, allowing more instrumentation to enter the picture, all the time increasing his status as a true cult hero. However, it was 1984 that brought the world what remains, for better or worse, the most heavily covered song in the Cohen catalog, as well as the most often covered songs in the entire history of recorded music. Hallelujah. Originally released on his Various Positions album, there were actually more than 80 verses written for it, and he struggled for years to decide which verses should make the final recording. In fact, many of the cover versions of this song that you hear aren't actually representative of the lyrics that he used on his original recording, leaving the lyrics to have their own special place in music history alongside the success of the song. Over the past 30 years, everyone from Bob Dylan to Jeff Buckley to Imogen Heap to CeeLo Green to Willie Nelson have covered it, and the song has managed to chart in more than 50 different countries. As the millennium closed out, Cohen was making tons of new music, and his music again managed to find a solid foothold with an entirely new group of musicians and music lovers. It's the rather stark nature of his overall delivery, as well as the dark tones that most of his songs have, that continue to find him new audiences with each generation. And in 2012, he released his Old Ideas album, and at 77 years old, his presence on the chart with the record set many records for the oldest person to have such a distinction, whether discussing religion, love, depression, politics, or a wide range of other lyrical themes. It's the unique style and approach that he takes to his wording that vaults Leonard Cohen so far beyond anybody else in music history. And even after more than half a century of influence all across nearly every musical genre, the songs and words of Leonard Cohen continue to be a vital reference point for the entire world of music.